Road trip day 6, the search continues.
I'm Rick, and this
Shut the heck up, you stinking boosters.
now for your sanity. This is the shack.
Hello and welcome. Yes, we continue our search on day 6. I went to a couple more properties and that was it basically for today. Kind of did a little tour downtown, so I'm going to take you along as I hit one of the properties that I didn't like, got home, thought about it more, kind of liked it. Unfortunately, it doesn't meet that criteria. And what I mean is, I forget how many acres this one was. I think it was 15 or 16, but the problem was it's a lot of steep inclines and little hills, valleys, and you only had, I think, 5 or 6 acres max that were usable. Just not enough. If I'm buying property, I want 75% of it usable with rolling hills. I don't mind that. But this one I kept thinking about. I liked it. It was very near to the downtown Elizabethton. I still don't know. It might be in the city limits, which is another strike because in Tennessee, the way the tax thing works, you pay city tax, you pay county tax. If you're outside the city, you only pay county tax. Makes it cheaper. That's what it's all about. This search is trying to stay just outside the city limits, so I only pay the county tax. It's all about saving money in my end days, my end years. When I no longer work in the shop, I will be playing with my model trains, a few other things, and I don't want to be putting out of pocket a lot of money, paying on tax and stuff. I want everything set and situated so I can enjoy my last days. So the first stop, I didn't record. As soon as I got there, it's like, no way. I already knew I didn't like this one. This is the second stop of the day. This is the one I thought about. Unfortunately, just not enough usable acreage, but check it out. There's one of them. Actually, there's a nice old Chevy right there, or Ford. So all this would be cleared out. This would have to be where the house is at. That would be torn down. Flat enough area here to get a house. Right underneath all these trees. And then I'd have to cut a road right through all this, and up there I have to put a shop somehow. Look at this. Huh. Power and everything's right there. Don't know. I don't like the road coming up here. It's exceptionally small. I like the area. All of a sudden I turn on this little road and if there's anyone coming up, you're screwed. There's only one way in, one way out, man. I mean, it's beautiful. Those are nice homes. I don't know. It's hard to make a decision on something like this. I don't even see me pulling a trailer up here. This would be hard pressed. I don't see trucks. I don't know how you get anything up here to build. I don't. Okay, that's it. That road is nice, much easier. This one is an iffy. Now that property, I don't know why it's still kind of gnawing at me. Unfortunately, it doesn't meet one of the big criterias, and that's I want at least 75% of my property usable. Meaning if I got a 10-acre lot, I want 75% of that either somewhat flat that I can flatten out, gentle rolling, that I could use if I chose to do so. Not that I want to. I really don't want 2 or 3 acres of grazing land in it unless the property already has it, and I'm looking at 15 acres or so, and there's 2 or 3 acres that at one time was used as pasture. That'd be fine. My main thing is I want woods, I want privacy, and I want to harvest some of the timber on that property for my personal use for working in the shop. So that just didn't really use it. But as you saw, I call goat trail because it's a very narrow, single little road going up in there. And to me, there's not enough room, and there really isn't room to pull off on one side to let someone pass. You have to either see someone coming, pull into someone's driveway as they pass, or someone's going to stop if someone's backing up. There's just no place for them to pass. At least I don't feel so safely because I don't know the sides of the road. They may be able to pull off a little bit, and you may be able to pull off on this side and go by, but from what I saw, a kind of little drop off into the ditch, I ain't taking no chances to get my vehicle stuck. But this one was maybe an eighth of a mile up, as you saw coming down. Not bad, not bad. That road comes up dead into the property, which I kind of like. That's cool. The house you saw there is burnt on the inside. It's uninhabitable, so it's basically a tear down. They're not giving any value to the house, which is fine. So to me, driving up, tear that house down, that's where my shop would go right there. It's perfect. They pull up, deliver stuff, turn around, go back down. And as you saw to the left, the property kind of tears up a couple times. Nice open area, nice trees around, it's beautiful. And because I didn't get permission and I was just kind of looking at it, I really didn't want to venture up around there to check it out. I probably should have, because man, I keep thinking about it. But it almost looked like if you went to the end there and went to your right, like it would almost bend around and there might be more up there. That kind of looked like a nice area to build a house. So from the shop, you'd have a nice long driveway up to the house, kind of go to the right and the house be built back there. But from what I've heard from the realtor I'm talking with, most of that property is pretty steep, meaning you have that flat area by the house, but behind the house, it really shoots up. It just doesn't have a gradual incline. Something gradual, gentle sloping hills is fine. Again, I need at least 75% of the property usable. I don't want to buy 10 acres and have 2 or 3 acres that are usable. To me, that's a waste of my money. I'm not getting enough value for my money. So I don't know. This one I liked, but it didn't meet a couple criterias. I just liked it. Yeah. Anyway, so after this, we're going to head downtown, just kind of cruise around downtown a little bit, just kind of check it out. And then we're going to stop, do a little river walk, kind of walk around there and check out the river that actually goes right through the town there. Check out the old covered bridge. And then we got one more property to check out, and I got a story to tell you about that one. I love the downtown area. So I enjoyed that little walk, had to get out of the truck, wanted to get to the downtown, drive through, saw this, I'm like, oh, I want to stop and check this out. So I enjoyed that part. Didn't have enough time really to find a restaurant, sit down. I just had to keep going. So my next stop, I'm going to show you a quick clip. It really doesn't show it too much, but I got a story to tell you behind it. And as I exit this next property, this is, I think, the last one for today because there's something that happened I got to tell you about. This one was way back. So check this out first and I'll explain more when we return. This is one, and it's 26 acres over there. This road goes down there, but it's all right in there. And I guess you can't see it. There. Oh, there it is. The entryway is right there. Nice little drive. Went all up through there. And I got a story to tell you about my truck. The road may be a little tight, but it's not bad at all. But look at this. This is nice. I wish I could have that there though. That'd be perfect. And this is a scary. There you go. That's it. Now we're going back to the city. I'd like to have this for your drive to your house every day. Yeah, nice. Okay, this might be a little long, but I'm gonna try to just keep it on point. When I first got there, I pulled up, I stopped just before the railroad tracks. Put it in park, shut the key off, got out. I'm standing in front of my truck and I'm looking, thinking, this ain't too bad. Nice road to get over. This is the access point to get to the property. Looking back there, and it's very wooded, and it looks like it's very steep. I'm like, man, I don't know, maybe it gets better if you go up there a little bit. So I'm kind of looking at it, and the car pulls up, and she goes, excuse me, you lost? You need any help? I turned around, a lady in an SUV, and I said, no, I'm looking at property. I said, I think this is one of the properties I'm looking at. And she goes, oh, if you're looking at the property, she goes, that's mine. I'm like, oh, great, how cool is this? One person that pulls up is the person that owns the property. So she gets out and we start talking. I introduce myself and I see I'm looking at the properties. And I'm thinking about this one and I said, what's the layout? Because it looks very steep from here. Is there any flat stuff? And we were talking a little bit and we just kind of going back and forth and really we were just being friendly, talking about family and things and stuff. And I tell you, the time I spent there, 2 or 3 hours, I knew her whole history from high school. I'm serious. Unbelievable. It's like I didn't ask for it. They're just very open and friendly. So her husband's seen us. I guess he's down there working. He actually bought all that whole area, 50 acres, about 6, 7 years ago. So her husband comes up and he introduced myself. Really nice guy, and we got along really well. And we're talking about it. He goes, "Oh, you know what? If you want, hop on the tractor. I'll take you up on the property. And I'm going to give you a tour." I said, "Cool, great. Yeah, I'd like to see what the property looks like." He goes, "Go ahead and get your truck and move it across there and park it on the other side of the railroad tracks. Right at the entrance to the property." So I get into my truck, put my key in. It wouldn't turn. I'm like, damn. Oh, sometimes I've noticed lately that it doesn't fully engage, I guess, in park or something. It doesn't go in, and you have to jiggle a little bit to get the key to turn because it just doesn't go in all the way. So I'm kind of jiggling the lever, pushing on, like, dang, this thing is stuck. Because I'm thinking I'm on a little bit of an incline. So when I put it in park, I didn't get it all the way engaged into park. And when it rolled back, it was like maybe locked in or something. He goes, "Oh." I said, "I can't move it." He goes, "You know what? Let me go get my chain. I'll be right back." So he goes back to the shop down at his house there, gets a chain, comes back up, hooks it on his tractor, hooks it on my truck, and starts pulling on it. We're thinking we can rock it a little bit. Maybe we can disengage it and get it in the park. Pulling on it. He's actually pulling on so much he actually started pulling my truck forward. The damn thing is not disengaging. I can't get it to move. And he goes, "Well, I got another tractor there. We can hook it up onto your hitch. I lift it back up a little bit. Maybe we can jiggle the rear end and then loosen it." He goes, "But let's go ahead and check out the property first, and when we get back, I'll go do that." I said, "Okay, fine." So we head off and get on to the property. As you see here, the entrance, to the left, there's a gate. Open that gate and you go up, and it's a pretty steep incline. We're just putting along. Really nice tractor. I'm like, I like this tractor. Four-wheel drive, put it in low, and just creep right on up. We get on top, and there's a flat area, and over to the left is kind of flat and then kind of gently slopes down. Well, right there on the left, there's an original house. They told me that before they purchased the property, that hasn't been touched in almost 100 years. So that's original. One of the early settlers would live there at one time. And he says, and if you look, there's flowers here. They aren't native here. Someone brought them in and planted them when they had this. They got them from somewhere and planted the flowers here. Like, this is pretty cool. He's already had well work checked. It's good for septics. And there's 2 springs on the property. And they come out, he said one's over there by a tree. It kind of bubbles out all the time. And it runs down and goes right into the river down there. So they had bought 50 acres 6-7 years ago, all that bottom area by the river, and this hill up here, 26 acres of it. They took 3 years, he said, for them to clear that area down there by the river so they could farm it, because they want a house and they want to farm because they got cattle, and they want to be able to have like hay and grain, whatever, grow. So they got so many acres down there flattened out. It took them 3 years to clear all the trees out of there. No one has touched this area that I was looking at all yet, except for what little trail he did make. So we're up there, and he said, "Yeah, this one's been tested," and he got another spot over here has been tested. So right there, I figured you got maybe 2 acres max. Flat area here, and then over here a little bit where it gently slopes where the original thing was. So you could put a shop or something there, but again, it's a pretty good incline driving up to it. Tops off, if you're looking towards the river, over to the right is where the old house, where the original settlers were, and then to the left, it kind of slopes down. You got another little spot down here, so I'm thinking a couple acres max right there. So he gets on the tractor, we go up a little bit further, and we top off, and we have another little spot up there, maybe an acre or so. So right now, you're probably looking at 4 acres, 5 pushing it, out of 26 acres. And he says, I'd have to go get my chainsaw, cut the tree, because they had winds a couple weeks prior, blew a couple trees down, right over where the trail that he had cut go down. He goes, it goes down, comes back up. He goes, where we're at now, it's about halfway. We've got about 12 acres in. We got another 12 to 15 acres going back that way. And I'm thinking, no, I don't want you to go back, get a chainsaw, cut it, just take me back there. It's not a big deal. I've seen enough. Basically, even if there's a couple more acres back there, you're looking at 7-8 acres max, if that, out of 26 acres. It's not enough for my value. I want 75% to 80% usable land. If I'm putting my money into a property, I want my money's worth, basically. We get down. His wife stayed there the whole time. I'm thinking, why would she stay there? Maybe she's just bored, nothing else to do. I get in just by chance. I don't know, I get in as he's going to get ready to head to the shop to get the other tractor to be able to lift my truck up. Put the thing in. It turned and it started. I'm like, whoa, it worked. What? I don't understand. This was jammed. I couldn't get to work. Wife comes out and I shut it off, get out, and I said, it worked. Thank you, Lord, it worked. I don't know what happened. It worked. Because I was like praying the whole time, like, oh, please do something. His wife, when we left, she got on Google and searched the problem. One of the things was do exactly what we did, pulling on it, lifting up, trying to disengage it. And said, if that doesn't work, sometimes just putting the emergency brake on does something. She goes, I pushed the emergency brake in, but you didn't leave the key, otherwise I would have tried. I'm thinking, wow, how nice is that? That's how people are. You leave California, people are stinking nice. That's the way America used to be. So nice. I know about her husband, childhood sweethearts, kind of went their own ways, and she even admitted, he asked her when they were younger for marriage. She said, no way, because you're too wild and crazy. You're going to knock me up and leave me with 3 kids in the first couple years. And he looked there and looked at her and goes, yeah, you're probably right. Because I had to get all that stupid nut stuff out of me. Because now, he goes, I wouldn't have it any way. She was my high school sweetheart. I always wanted her, but I was just too stupid enough when I was younger to really realize what I would have had. He goes, now I appreciate it more. I'm like, oh man, is that a love story or what? That's just so cool. So I know their whole history. I found out so much about them. And if it wasn't for the property, I probably would have bought it. You saw that drive going back. It was kind of far in there. I don't know how they get anything in there to build. And he says they got a friend of theirs that drives a truck. He's got a 53-foot trailer. I said, probably, yeah. But he's got the axle slid all the way forward. But he goes off the edge of the road and makes a turn to get around it. So this is another little interesting note. This old 72 Chevy pickup pulls up. And I looked at her husband and said, that's what I'm building. I told him about my truck that I got the Cummins I'm putting in, and he does fabricating some stuff, and he wanted to start a little business. I mean, we got along really well, I'm telling you. This could have been superb. And I'm looking at this truck, and I looked at the old man and said, I love your truck. And he goes, bought it brand new, and I forget what month he said, in 70-something, 72 I think it was, off the showroom floor, and he's had it ever since. Not a speck of rust on this thing. Immaculate, beautiful. His wife was just sweet as can be. They had, I think, their granddaughter, maybe great-granddaughter, I don't know, it's a granddaughter in the middle. The lady was just sweet talking to him. She hadn't met those 2 people yet, so they introduced themselves, talking about it. She goes, oh yeah, and the people there say how much they loved the area. She goes, oh, that's good to hear because we loved it too. She goes, when my ancestors first came to this area, came around this bend here, saw this, they fell in love with it and they settled here. She is the 7th generation. They've been there over 100 years. 7th generation. Boom, baby, they've been there forever. And another little thing, when we were walking along that railroad track with the guy, the owner, he was showing me the end of the property. So we went down the railroad track. He goes, right here's the end. So you got all this here, it goes along here and up into the hill. I'm thinking, man, my grandkids would love this. Just going out here, scrounging, search around. He goes, man, I find arrowheads all over the place. Arrowheads? He goes, yeah. He goes, the Indians used to be all around here. He goes, matter of fact, on the back side of the property, not on the property. He goes, make sure it's not on the property. He goes, behind the property back there, there's an original burial site. I'm like, no wonder there's, oh yeah, you don't think I would love to go searching around there a little bit more. I would have a heyday. I mean, wow, can you imagine that? You can be able to hopefully find some artifacts, maybe even some, I don't know, pottery or knives or scrapers. I mean, there's stuff there that would be amazing to find. But he says, I got a jar full of arrowheads I found. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do that so bad. I know a little bit long, but I mean, this is just amazing time. So that ended my day because I just couldn't go nowhere else. By the time I got it undone, left there, I just went back to where my hotel was. There's a Sonic next to it. Pulled into the Sonic, kicked back. Oh, thank you, Lord, for the day and not being stuck there and not having my truck towed or anything. It's like, oh, what a day. Phenomenal people. They're wonderful people. Just property just wasn't enough for me to spend that kind of money on. That is it on the video. I'm done talking. Be blessed. Take back your truck for your sanity. Make sure you stay tuned because day 7 We're back on the road and we're hitting the pavement hard. We're running against time and we got miles to get and things to pick up. See you next video.